There we go. What is happening? I was like, you know what? I didn't give any kind of heads up. Just went live. Will anybody show up? You know, Steve Lacey. I don't believe so. Hey, RC. I'm doing great. How is everyone doing? Quentin James. What up? Hey, Jesco. What's up? Steve Miller Band. That's how it goes. Now. I was out of town all day today, man. I am, and then I am out of town all day tomorrow as well. So we didn't get back until probably 8:30. It's 11 now, something like that. So we left at around 9 maybe this morning. So yeah, so we've been gone all damn. I'm super tired. Do I have anywhere? Oh, is it Robert? Can you please help me with a camp section? I am. Oh, amp section selection. B100. I was wondering how an invective or 5150 would compare for a metal amp, considering a rev difference. Well, if it's like for metal, I mean, I think the rev personally, you know, and obviously I'm associated with rev and stuff like that, but I just legitimately think that their amps, you know, smoke a 5150. I haven't played a PV Invective, so I can't say anything about that one. You know, I've never really tried to get metal tones out of the Friedman, you know, but I think that if you're trying for that more American sound, I think the Rev is just more suited for that type of distortion. If you're doing like rock or like hard rock stuff, I think the Friedman really like shines in that area. Watched your Fiverr videos today. Great content. Thank you. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Practicing the solo. Oh, wait, hold on a second. What was that? Sorry, I'm so tired, but I was like, man, I didn't do a live stream this week. Practicing the solo to Rising Force by Yngwie, which listen to. Oh, nice. That, you know, anything Yngwie is crazy. Oh, sorry, my thing just all updated. Distortion does make everything better. Some easy songs from Metallica. You know, I don't know many Metallica songs, to be totally honest. No, Jeff Loomis and Keith Merrill love the Rev. Same style I'm going for. Which do you recommend? I heard Rev is the tightest for modern sound. Thanks again. Well, that again, you know, falls into your personal preference. I just personally really like 40 and 50 watt tube amps. I have a Rev Generator 100. It's not mine. It's just here right now. And right behind me, I have a Dynamis, which is, you know, definitely not a metal amp. But it all just depends on how much money you want. If you're wanting a very tight sounding amp, I think that your two options, or two best options, if you're staying with Rev, would be the Rev 100P. It has the purple channel, which is like their tightest channel. Or if you want to go all out and get a 120, that's a 4-channel, which is going to have the purple channel as well in there. Dave R's Guitars, what's up? Hey, what's up? Scar my guitar? Thank you, man. I love this guitar. Can I buy a guitar off you? Sure. Whenever I sell them, you sure can. Love your new Continental. Yeah, man, I love that guitar. Yeah, see, I love. See, for me, like I have a Rev Generator 740, which is the green amp, and then I have my Dynamis, which is going to the show with me tomorrow. So I'm loading up a bunch of stuff. So if you are near Akron, Ohio, I'll have a couple of my amps there at the Vola booth. Voodoo, you know, I've like Voodoo is like I've heard them mentioned so many times, but I've never seen one in person. Am I in Cali? No, I'm in Ohio. Thank you, Sandra. Or Sandra? Sorry if I say that wrong. What's up, bro? What's up, Oliver? What's poppin'? Best amp head with line out recording? It's gotta be, sorry, I'm not trying to be all Rev at all, but this amp right here, I did a video on it. The Rev D20. For its price, it smokes all the other ones that I've seen. It's a little black amp. It's hard to see. I have it turned sideways. It's going, like I said, so if you're an actor, I'm taking this with me too, just because some people were interested in it. But, yeah, that will be there as well. You know, I've played a bunch of Hughes and Kettners, and I didn't, again, this is just me, I didn't overly like their distortion sound. I don't know what it was about it. You know? I played a bunch of them, like I said, they were at GitCon, and I just wasn't like a huge fan of the way their distortion sounded. Robert, you taking anything? I won't be at the Dallas show, I'm afraid. Yeah, I will not be at that one. Must suck now not able to play covers for us anymore, but oh well. Yeah, you know what, it does, but I had actually started transitioning pretty, you know, purposely away from a lot of that stuff. And I pretty much decided I'm just going to do that stuff anyways, whenever I feel like it. I get why people will hate Boss pedals? Well, I don't think people do hate Boss pedals, do they? The Bob Ross. What guitar do I have? This is my Acacia Cronus. Play a little, yeah, you know what? I think I should play a little bit for you. 108 people. Well, thank you for showing up, guys. Let me jam for a second while my eyes are awake. There we go. I'm like clicking on the wrong things. A clean amp isn't a thing. Great to hear. You're sure you're talking to someone else. How many frets does that guitar have? 22. I only have 2 guitars with 24 frets on them. The PRS being one of those. What about the clean tone? I can give you a clean tone. Give me 1 second here. Here's a clean tone with the Fishmans. I'll go to the neck pickup. This one does that. Alright, so here's a more direct audio of the clean tones with this one. So this is the Fishman Classic neck pickup. I do have chorus and stuff like that on. I ain't changing it. Sorry, I can tell I'm not very awake. I'm playing a lot of bad notes. Sorry about that. Music Therapy Lab, what's up? What's poppin', yo? I'm excited. I hope a bunch of you guys can make it out to the Guitar Fest tomorrow in Akron. I've seen a bunch of people have responded to the email. I sent out an email to everyone and stuff like that. And I'm really excited. Did I pay too much for my Epiphone Dot in mint shape with a nice case for $375? No, I don't think so. You'll be there, Rick? Dude. Come hang out, man. I think I'm doing my clinic at 2:30. It was funny. We were like running around like crazy today. Like I said, Akron's, a few hours from me, but we, we're doing all this different stuff, and then finally got back, and I was like, shoot, I need to get a 1/8 inch to quarter adapter, and we ran down, got one, and then the owner of the store was just like, you guys want to go to dinner? And we're like, all right. And then we went out to eat, and now I'm back home. Favorite single coils? I don't even know. Favorite single? Probably I think the P90s. I mean, they're technically a single coil. Sorry, someone said get the Kotzen. Sorry, and I'm like fully decked out in bedtime attire. Ugh. I haven't played guitar today at all, and I was like, I need to play, and I was like, well, I might as well just go live. And that is about all the clean tone that I want to hear tonight. Give me some motherfucking distortion. My live streaming tomorrow, I will not be. I found like when I do like clinics and stuff like that, I don't like to do worry about any live streaming stuff, because 9 times out of 10 the signal ends up getting messed up somehow, and then it's just bad for the people trying to watch. And I just don't like to have my attention divided, to be honest. Would I make videos if there was no money in it? You know what? I can confidently say yes that I would, because I did it for years when there was no money in it. The first 2-3 years that I made YouTube videos, you couldn't even, there was no such thing as monetizing. There was you had to apply to be able to monetize your videos. Now, obviously, if YouTube paid nothing at all, I would still sell my guitar courses and stuff like that I already do. But I know that I would just keep making videos. It's kind of so ingrained now at this point. It's just kind of what I do. Each day I'm all right, what video we're doing? We're shooting today. I'm shooting this. Tomorrow I'm editing this. Today this week I've been I said busy with a lot. My buddy Greg, who's with Vola, got into town Thursday. So it's kind of actually funny for me to be sitting here because it's the videos you're seeing, I shot all ahead of time right now on YouTube, because I was I'm not going to be able to do any kind of video stuff. So I shot those earlier and all that kind of stuff. And I'm you know what? It feels weird to be sitting here, because I haven't been here, really for a few days. So, changed my strings the first time myself, and Lord, was it frustrating, dude? Yes, I hate changing strings. We were in Cuyahoga, yeah. So we ended up, we got food at a Chick-fil-A, and I believe we were in Cuyahoga at that point. Technically, the event is not in Akron. If you're from Ohio or nearby, the event is basically in Akron. It's in I can't think of the name of the town, but Akron's the biggest town that it's 2 minutes from. So that's why most people would just say Akron. It's or again, if you're from Ohio, Polaris and Columbus and stuff like that, Which I was, sending my friend who does Vola. I was doing that. I was actually I spent 4 months in Akron when I was a kid. So I guess a lot of people don't know the story. But when I was a kid, I had an aneurysm. So I was in Akron Children's Hospital for, I believe, 4 months, and I actually have a big scar. It was why when I was a kid. Now it's different because I'm older, but that's why I kind of grew my hair out. I didn't have it long like this, but I had it longer because I have a big scar that goes from basically here all the way like a horseshoe, all the way over, because they had to conduct surgery and stuff like that. So pretty intense. You'll be there, awesome. You're bending the high E string. Guys, yeah, you know what? Me too. I am also glad that I'm still here. So I don't really think of it that way too much, because I was a kid. I was first grade when all that stuff kind of happened, but yeah, I was you know what? I guess if I had to do that now, it'd be kind of intense. Hello, brain surgery guitar player. Yes. Yeah, and I forget. So mine was not. It was not actually. Again, it's kind of like the whole Polaris Columbus thing. It wasn't actually an aneurysm that I had. It's like a form of aneurysm. It's actually what happened to me was there was actually even a less percentage of a chance that it would happen to someone. I forget what it's called. It's like a form of an aneurysm. But so that happened or whatever. And I remember, so basically for like the next year after that happened, I wasn't allowed to like go out for recess or anything like that at school because they had a pin clamping the capillary or whatever it was together. So I couldn't do anything, and I had had to go back to hospital and have CAT scans done and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so it's maybe that's the reason I play guitar. Maybe I should be happy that happened. More reason coming out bad deal with copyright. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think thankfully the copyright stuff has kind of slowed down. Like I said, they claimed 24 of my videos, and they thankfully did overturn one of them. I fought 5 of them. But what's really tricky about YouTube, and it sucks, Kyle. You are mom. What's tricky about the copyright stuff is YouTube makes it kind of hard to fight them. So I got the one overturned. They dropped the claim, and then I appealed 4 other ones, and they didn't. But what doesn't make sense is it's not YouTube reviewing the copyright claim. It's the company files a copyright claim against you, and then they review it. If you like challenge it, they review it, and they're like, "No, I think my claim's still valid," and then it stands. And then if you go to like fight that appeal, YouTube makes it like super like scary to like fight it again. They're just like, all right, there's going to be 2 options here. Either your video is just going to be completely taken down, or you're going to get a strike against your channel if we determine that this is in fact it is in copyright infringement. I'm like, well, how do I win there? How do you get around not feeling confident if you ever do? You know what? There's always going to be moments when you don't feel confident. For me, anyways, the way I always looked at it, when I have like a guitar, like it's weird, like when I do clinics and stuff like that, I feel like I've gotten a whole lot better, actually, to where I'm completely comfortable up there talking into a microphone now and all that stuff. But a big part of it is because I have a guitar in my hand. If you took the guitar away from me, it's a huge part of for me, a confidence in like a public speaking situation and stuff like that. So I've always just felt like when I was playing guitar, I'm like, well, this is just what I'm meant to do. This is what I want to do with my life. So I was always like confident. I never want to be arrogant, but definitely confident. Whenever there's a guitar in my hand. Take the guitar away, I'm not so confident. Acacia, I did have. Hey, I don't know if you were here before Acacia, but I started with the Cronus. People asked me for the Richie Kotzen. Do I have an octa pedal? If so, could you use it? You know what? I don't have a lot of my pedals here right now. I don't have one, so I couldn't use it anyways. But a lot of my pedals are not here right now. What's a cool Ace effects pedal? I've been wanting to get one, but I don't know. I do not know. I was not around then, unfortunately. I know. I can play you exactly what I know of Hangar 18 right now. Here it is. 0. I don't even know the first note. Greg, where are you at? Buy amp for home use. It all depends on what your budget is, man. Got a new car today, dude. That is awesome. Congrats, Bryson. That's really good. Favorite metal band? I don't. You know what? I really don't listen to metal anymore. Can't think. Probably Pantera if I had to pick one. Pantera. I don't know why I said it that way. Pantera. Tried an Ibanez Iceman guitar. I have not. I've never played one. I've seen them. I've seen the Paul Stanleys at NAMM and stuff like that. I've never played one though. Those are the ones with the binding on it. Is it on the back too? No. It is just on the front. $1,000 for an amp, give or take. I guess it depends on what you're trying to do with it, but like the Boss Katana is really with that kind of money. You know, it depends like exactly if you mind going over your budget a little bit. If you like, or if you're a person who likes to use pedals and stuff like that, I think the REVV D20 is good, especially for like home recording. It's around like $1,200 for that thing, but it's mainly a clean amp, so you need pedals and stuff like that. So if you're not a pedal person, I would steer away from that. But you know, if you are looking for more like an all-in-one enclosure and you don't mind that it's you know, not tubes and stuff like that, like a lot of people recommend the Katana. I thought it was funny how many people compared the Katana to the REVV D20, and I'm like, they're not comparable. You know, they're not the same thing. So it all just depends what you're after. So if you don't mind going over a little bit of budget, then I think that the REVV D20 is really your best option. And that's not coming from like I said it earlier, but in case you weren't here, buddy. That's not coming from me being affiliated with Rev. That's just like, I don't know an amp that does that kind of stuff for home use in that price range. The other one would probably be the PT15, but that amp's like $3,000. Did you ever get your shout-out guitar riff from Van Halen, You're No Good song? I didn't. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good. I've never seen I've never played a Laney amp in person. Who was it that said that? Dave our guitar. I've never seen a Laney in person. I've seen him at NAMM, but I've never played one. I've always wanted to. I remember Paul Gilbert played him for a while. Have you thought of not singing anymore? Not at all. This next song's called Singing for Acacia. So it goes like this. Oh, Acacia, I wrote this song for you. Can I play something that will make you angry? Sure. Oh, you angry, not me angry, sorry. And now the comments are gonna fly in. You don't like Nirvana? I do not like Nirvana. You know what's funny, Braxel? I had a ribeye tonight. And it was incredible. How's the PRS is great, man. I love that guitar. I wish I could remember the ribeye song. I would sing it. It'd be a good night to sing it. Hard-backed on not liking Nirvana. Although, I watched, last night when Greg was over here, we watched the Dave Grohl kind of documentary thing. And it was really cool. Like I like the Foo Fighters. And I always felt like Dave Grohl was like, you know, insanely talented. And I thought that was really cool to kind of watch, you know, that documentary basically about him, essentially. You had Long John Silver's. You are a brave man, Quentin James. I totally eat Long John too, though, I'll be honest. Clarence, Robert, I can't stay here, but... Oh, dude, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Clarence. Clarence gets a shout out. Shout out! Shout out! Shout out! Shout out! I haven't seen Endgame yet. No spoilers. No spoilers. I can't even look at the stream. Sorry, guys. If I can't look at the stream, I can't look at it anymore. You guys are gonna post spoilers. One too many. I know. I couldn't do that. Ola's new music. Anyone like it? I listened to his, what was it called? Hawaiian Pizza? That was great. You know, Ola is, as far as like, you know, I don't really listen to metal anymore, but I really like Ola's stuff. I think he has like a lot of groove in his playing. Please play some GNR. I don't know much GNR, I'm afraid. Oh, how's it go? Well, I'm loaded like a freight train. Would you make a video on chord shapes, modes, and theory around it and related to a lot of heavy metal? I probably wouldn't relate it necessarily to heavy metal. I kind of did a little bit of that in the lesson that went up today, and about, you know, I regret not learning this sooner. And I mean, it's something I learned a long time ago. It's not like I just learned it yesterday, but I was talking about that, and you know, one of the cool things I was thinking about doing a video on was basically like challenging yourself to build chords off of single ideas. So if you took like a triad, like an A, and in the video I think I did G, but I did like, okay, like here's an add 9, or it's like a sus4. Maybe you want to go to like a sus2 chord. You know, it depends. Like maybe you're gonna go like to mid. You know, there's all these different options you can go to, but. What's your favorite guitar songs? Ooh, anything Van Halen. I don't know, Canon Rock. How many guitars do I have exactly? I'm not sure. I don't really like count them necessarily to see how many I have. Are you going to record the event tomorrow? I will not be, I'm afraid. I need help with marketing. 101 equals PRS. I'm not sure what that means, man. Can I play Lay It Down? Let's see. I don't know why I thought I was playing Les Paul for a second. I was like, where's the switch? Try to stay under 15 guitars. I can't really play more than that consistently. Yeah, I'm just saying. I was just thinking about that because I have one more guitar on the way that I ordered a while ago, and after that one, I was like, you know, I really need to chill out with guitars, and that one will be unless I happen to find a 335 that's just like a killer deal on like an old one, but I doubt I would find a deal good enough. So I think I'm gonna like force myself to be like, you know, this is the last guitar for the year. Like you need to practice more. You need to earn the guitars. You know, stop buying them and start, you know, really playing them. So. Would you say that when just playing that you hit hard? I think I missed your other question, Quentin. I'm sorry. Favorite 80s hair band? There's too many of them. I love Rat, Winger, all those guys. I don't know which Motley Crue either. gonna feel good. Go to the guitar show tomorrow, but I will. Dude, the guitar show, so, like I said, we were there today setting up, and the booth right across from us had all these, like, old Gibsons and all this kind of stuff. I was like, whoa. So it was cool. They had a really cool 355. I think it was 355. Is that the one with the dial? It's like stereo. I can't remember. I think that's the 355. I don't know. I'm getting confused now. See, the 330 was with P90s. 335 is humbuckers. Isn't 355 stereo? $356? $339 is the smaller one. If you're going to the guitar show tomorrow, they have one. They have a couple 339s there. Yeah, so they have a nice old 355 there. Switchfoot. No, everything's for sale. Like I said, I believe, unless they changed it. I know last year you could trade guitars if you wanted to. It's like $8 to get in. But yeah, man, they have a nice 339. I think it's like a tobacco-y burst, if I remember correctly. They have a 53 conversion Les Paul, and what else did they have? And they had that nice. I can't remember what year it was. The 355 was like around $6,000 for it. What, I have low views right now? That's just, I mean, I don't know. But it could be because I'm live streaming at like midnight. But Houston, I don't know. This year, I'm like, trying to actually travel a lot less. The past 2 years, I've traveled more in the last 2 years than I have ever in my entire life. Like, last year was like, 2 years ago was like crazy busy. I think 2 years ago, I went to Germany 2 times or 3 times. I know the one time, this is the longest I've ever been away from home, and like I'm a total like homebody. I love being home, and just being here to hang out with my son and wife. But I left, and I think I was in Germany for 14 days, and then I came home for 2, and then I left, and I was in Shanghai for 5, or basically 7, because the time difference and stuff like that. So, because it was a day of travel and all that. Because I left on, like, you leave on a Sunday, but I don't get there. Like, I left Sunday morning, but I got there, like, Monday morning because it's a 12-hour difference or however it works. But yeah, so, like, this year, there were a couple of, like, I was offered a couple different things to travel, kind of like out of the country again and stuff like that. And I was just like, I don't think I want to, I kind of did it, and I just basically like confirmed in my own mind that I'm like, you're not really a traveling guy. Oh, Tom, thank you so much, man. Great video. I also think about higher extension positions from IE the 2nd to 9th. I was the kid in middle school with 1 amp, no pedals, and 2 guitars. That's, you know what, man? I think, I'm trying to think when I was in. Well, I didn't start playing until I was in high school, but yeah, that's pretty much what I had. I had 2 guitars, and I had a Line 6 Spider, like the 2x12 amp. Where is my new pedal board? Where is it? Could be sitting right beside me. The answer is it's not. Would you recommend the XFX? How much will it be secondhand? Yeah, I would totally recommend an XFX. I think they're great. Uh, it depends. They're just announced they're coming out with some kind of like small foot pedal. So I think that's pretty cool. Hey Scott, what's happening, man? But yeah, I've totally loved having my Axe effects. You know, it's been great. What's the highest gauge usable guitar string you own right now? I just 10 to 46 on everything, even on like a 24 3/4 scale. But I don't know any of Dan Huff's solos, but I've heard plenty of them, man. What's the left-handed? I don't know for sure, but that I was talking about the booth that had all that nice those old Gibsons, and they had a lefty Gibson in there. Do you have good tone, Rob? Do I myself have good tone? I think, tone's way too subjective. I always laugh because I'll get comments on videos, and sometimes the comments are next to each other. And it'll just be like, oh my god, you have the best tone, how do I get it? And then it'll be like, the next comment is like, dude, you have the worst tone ever. Like, it's like, tone's too subjective. Yeah, no spam. No spamalama. 3-hour drive along with your clinic decisions. You know what? It's 3 hours, and obviously I would like to meet you. But to me, 3 hours isn't that bad. Like when I drive to Nashville, it's 6 hours, and that's still. It's like on the edge of being like if it was like 7 hours, I think it'd be too much. A lot when it comes to Zach stuff. That's awesome, man. I love Zach Wild stuff. Will you ever get a signature guitar? You know what? I actually had a signature guitar. The issue is, and I was actually talking to my buddy today about this. I was like, it doesn't, to me, like with all the endorsement stuff that's going on and all that, like a lot of people want to be endorsed. And I'm like, if you're doing like the YouTube stuff like what I am, it almost doesn't make sense to be endorsed and an artist and stuff like that, because all that really does is kind of like pigeonhole you. I want to be able to play whatever guitar I want to play whenever I want to play it. And thankfully, most of the brands that I work with have always been just like, dude, play whatever you want. But I've heard of other brands, that I've never worked with, but you hear stories about stuff who are like really strict about like you can't play another guitar and another brand and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, that sounds awful to me. I don't know if there's a guitar in the world that I like enough to be like, I'm only gonna ever play this guitar again. KM stands for Robert Baker. What's a guitar and play the fastest from your guitars you own? I don't know, actually. Never thought about that. I don't know if I'm like noticeably faster on any guitar. I'm probably the same medium speed on all of them. I'm equally bad on all of my guitars. How about that? What's your opinion on rap music? I personally don't like it, but it's a to each their own thing, If it inspires you, in some kind of like creative way, then I'd say go with it. Like an hour and a half? Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's a ways of a drive for me as well. But everything else I go to, I gotta like fly to, or it's like I said, 6 hours down to Nashville. So I do like Michael Schenker. I don't know any of his stuff, but what I've heard, I do like. If I had to sell one of my guitars, what would it be? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Do I make any music? Yeah, I make a lot. All of my demo songs, I have an EP out. All of my demos that I do, I usually put, an original song. Like if you listen to the Vintage Tea demo that I just did, there's a song in the beginning. So there's probably like, I don't know, 20 songs floating around on YouTube. Do I know the Stairway to Heaven solo? I think I blocked that solo out of my mind. When I used to teach at a store, I taught that solo so much to where, and I definitely don't remember it anymore. But I was so sick of that song and that solo, and it's such a shame because kids would come in and want to learn it, and like I would never ever discourage anybody from learning that song. It's iconic. It's Jimmy Page. I love it. But at the same time, I hate it. Just because I taught it. Like I remember 1 month I was teaching it to like 4 different people wanted to learn that solo. I'm like, God, I'm so sick of. I can't remember what is it anymore. Oh, how does it go? This is probably like 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. Just it's a great solo. Like I would never discourage anybody. It's just whenever you're teaching the solo to people after teaching it so many times, I'm like, I don't like that solo anymore. Also, I personally like a lot of other, a little bit more of the deeper tracks of Zeppelin. Are there any collab video in the future? Yes, actually, I have a really, really cool one coming up with Tim Pierce, Pete Thorne, hopefully Sean Tubbs, and Jared Dines. And maybe a video with Daryl Braun. Intermediate solo ideas. I think like Shook Me All Night Long is a good like intermediate solo. Now I love the riff behind Stairway to Heaven. So. Should we collab with J-Off Films? I don't know who that is. Do I like Jackson guitars? Yeah. I have no issue with Jackson. My Charvel is a Charvel Jackson. What do you think about the new 2019 Les Paul? You know what? I haven't played one, but I'd be really interested to. Do you despise Smells Like Teen Spirit or Stairway more? Definitely it Smells Like Teen Spirit. Crazy Train's second riff? There you go. I'll let you guys hear some better direct audio than this. Probably hearing it all whooshy-washy. that lick so much. Oh, man. I was laughing because the comments popped up about the Richie Kotzen. Like, oh, the guitar sounds so good. And it was as I was plugging in the gold tone. Where's the guitar I smashed in the snow? It's in some dumpster somewhere. Well, in some landfill, probably. I threw it away. So that's just improvising or some solo. Also, so guitar, thank you. Just improvise, man. What do you think would be better, gigging before or after making an album? I say before, for sure. That's always something to consider, because, you know, if you're trying to offer something for sale, I never really understood the point of someone, you know, releasing all this stuff for sale, but, like, not having an audience for it, you know? And it just kind of, like, to me, it makes more sense to build an audience. If your goal is to sell something, like, if that's your whole goal, then, you know, you have to have an audience for it. I know for me, we talked about this earlier in the show, like, when I started doing YouTube stuff, it was just the only object is I didn't see people posting the lessons that I had been looking for on YouTube when YouTube first came out. And by the time that I had learned a lot of that stuff, I was like, oh, well, I'll make lessons on it. And that was just kind of how it started for me. Like, you know, there was no, like, monetary, you know, objective at all in any of it. So it just depends on what your, you know, overall goal is. Do you know Sweet Emotion? I do. Start making commercials. You can't agree with you there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know a lot of guys who will, you know, invest a lot of time, a lot of money, and release an album and kind of complain that no one buys it. And I'm just kind of like, but you gotta build that audience. Hey, the guitarist, what's up, Brad? How are you doing, man? What was my job before YouTube? Before YouTube, well, I was a guitar teacher at a music store, but I guess kind of before that, because that and YouTube all started at the same time. If you guys haven't yet, check out The Guitarologist. I love Brad's channel. Brad has all kinds of amazing videos. But, anyway, sorry. I was in marketing at Sam's Club. So I was in the, you know, the marketing department overpricing for the store. So that was what I did. I worked at Sam's Club. I initially started there when I was 18 as just like a cart pusher, and then had kind of like worked my way up. And then the next thing, they wanted me to kind of like pursue more of like a team leader position. Collab with Brad? I'd love to, of course. Hopefully me and Brad get to hang at Summer NAMM. That'd be great. But anyways, so basically I had worked my way up at Sam's Club to the point where it was like the only way up was to go to a team leader position, and I'm like, I don't want to be a team leader. That was not what I was like interested in doing. And you know what? I'll tell you, it was one of the funniest things because I got offered a job teaching at a store, and because I was supposed to go out to California, I was supposed to go to MI or GIT, Musicians Institute, and I decided to stay here and just pursue teaching, and then I started doing YouTube at that time as well. And I remember when I finally had built up, I was like, if I can get to 40 students, I'm going to quit my job, you know, like it was a full-time job, benefits, all that stuff. I'm going to quit it. And luckily, you know, my wife was super supportive of the whole thing. And I can't tell you how many people tried to talk me out of it, you know, quitting that job. I was like, I don't want to do this. They're like, yeah, this is the safe thing to do. You know, I'm like, exactly. You know, that's why I'm doing this. And you know, we took a chance, and it was really hard at first. And like I said, like the next year, I basically sold all the gear I had, all the guitars, and I sold the one guitar I really regret selling, my American Strat, and all that stuff. But I'm like, man, I'm so happy that I did it. It was tough and it was rough, but I was like, I don't know, man. It just, you got to take those chances sometimes. Ask Brad. Brad is. Do you do YouTube full time now, Brad? Luckily, it worked out. Yeah, I think luckily I'm hard-headed and stubborn enough that I would find a way for it to work. Dylan, please, no, of course, man. What's up, Dylan? In the video with Cameron Cooper. Yeah, you know what? I actually did a video on Cam, years ago. Full time, exactly. And I bet, Brad, that you are, probably happier doing that than you ever were, managing a music store and stuff like that. I love Guns N' Roses. I love Slash. I love Guns N' Roses. All that kind of stuff. It's just more. I've just never spent a lot of time learning it. Yeah, Cameron is an incredible guitar player. Far better than I am. Do I have perfect pitch? Man, no. I have garbage pitch. That's what I have. Especially when I'm tired right now. I have lower than garbage pitch. Solo, and I really need some tips on my guitar playing, syncing up my fretting hand with my alternate picking. And I appreciate everything you do. Oh, thank you, man. You know what? A lot of it is just sitting there, and the more you can do things, I feel like it's not only about picking, getting that hand synchronization. I think some people really, really think it's all about just sitting there and going, as I play it terribly. But that's not really it. I think that mixing it in with stuff that requires more synchronization, more timing. So if you take a lick like this, I would practice it both ways. It's a simple lick. I'm just going 8, 7, 5 on the highest string, 8 on the B, and then 5, 7, 8 on the highest string. Now, obviously, being able to pick that is all very, very good. And you want to be able to pick all of those notes. And then try to incorporate some hammer-ons in different places. So maybe be like pick, pick, hammer, or pick, pick, pull off, and then pick again. So this is going to require you to have a different timing out of your right hand. You're going to have to be able to time it right to where this hand stops for that brief second and then can get to the next note in time. So to me, that stuff really helps build up that hand synchronization. Also doing one note per string ideas, like taking arpeggio. But I'm not sweeping it, I'm actually alternate picking it. This can really builds a lot of timing. You can sweep it too. But that one note per string stuff is really tough. So you can even take your normal bar chords. As I play it so bad. I'm sorry, guys. Hands are tired. Brad says, I'm my own boss, and it's beautiful. I encourage everyone to find a way to stay close to their dreams. I'm not a rock star, but I feel close to my guitar and my dreams. You know what, man? That is dead on. 100%. And that's what I mean, I feel like you got to be hard-headed enough to try. You've just got to try and figure out something, because it could be, for me, I love teaching, you know, and I feel like the majority of my YouTube is still based around teaching. Like, I love doing other stuff too, but it's teaching. So, but it's all different forms of it, you know. I think if you do the same thing too much, you'll burn yourself out. But if you're just like a creative individual, which anyone who's watching this is probably a guitar player, so we're all the same. Just find a way to like incorporate it slowly. So one of the things that I did was, as I was getting students, you know, it'd be like, you know, this student, I get 2 students, it replaces 30 minutes of, you know, whatever my normal job was. You know, I'm going to cut 30 minutes out this week. You know, I'd leave early. And then you get another 2 students. I'm like, all right, I'm going to cut an hour, because, you know, you're working at a store. They love for you to cut time if your work's done. And that was really just kind of how I viewed it. I'm like, you know, I'm not losing any money, but I'm gaining time. You know, I'm not gaining money, I'm not losing money, I'm gaining time. And I was putting more time into what I wanted, and eventually it got to the point where I would literally work, and this went on for months. I worked first shift, so I had to be there at 6. I was there from 6 a.m. to 2:30, doing like the marketing stuff, and then I would start teaching at 3:30 at the music store until 8. And we did that was Monday. Saturdays. Sorry, Saturdays I was off from the Sam's Club job, but I worked from 10 a.m. to 5:30 teaching at the music store. And then Sunday was my only day off. So it's just, I think it just comes down to like how bad you want it. You know, it was a lot of hard work, and it's still hard work. Shout out Riff Time! Shout out! So, oh man, Banta Video 125. If you forgot to leave a comment or anything, please let me know. But thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you. We went to school together. You changed so much. Oh, really? What is your name? RTI. I'm really curious. Avenged Sevenfold? I like Avenged Sevenfold. I haven't listened to them in quite a long time, I will say. But I always thought Sister Gates was a cool guitar player. He has a cool style. Oh, dude, Brad, thank you so much, man. How about this? I'll save that $5, thank you, and we'll have a coffee together at NAMM. Or lunch. Well, we'll go get some Edleys or something while we're there. Are Fender Hotwire amps any good? Because I bought one for $100. You know what? I am not an amp guy, but you are in the same chat as the amp guy. So the guitarologist can maybe, if Brad is still here, he can definitely tell you about that stuff. Jazz? Oh, I don't know jazz, man. I play jazz exactly like a rock guitar player should. I play it like blues. I play it like blues. Oh. Oh man. Sorry, I'm not a jazz guy. I like learning like little bits and pieces of like some jazz. But I don't remember it anymore. Used to know a little bit of Take 5. Doom, doom, boom, ba doom, 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 doom. Again, I play jazz perfectly like a rock guitar player plays jazz. It's kind of like $100 hot rod is a steal. Nice. I can change the power cap. See, Brad knows what's up. It's kind of like I always think it's funny. For me, if I play, like I grew up playing like bluegrass with my dad, but again, like he plays like when you hear him play bluegrass music, it sounds authentic. When you hear me play bluegrass, it sounds like a rock guy playing it. Same with like if I play blues, like my buddy Ike he has like that blues feel, like a genuine bluesness to his playing, and I'm like you can just tell the difference. Like it's just different levels when it comes to that stuff, you know. And I feel like where I'm the most confident is rock, is like the rock sound. I'm like that's where I feel like is my strength, and you just kind of pull in these influences. But it's like you're always reminded when you jam with someone who like really knows what they're doing in a genre. You're like, oh yeah, he's pretty good at that. How old am I? I'm 29. Favorite Pantera song? You know what? I always loved Message in Blood. That was one of my favorite ones. Weed and guitar. I don't smoke, man. I don't smoke. I don't drink. Drink water, I guess. So there's something. Give you my Vola pitch tomorrow? I have no Vola pitch, man. I just talk about stuff and that's about it. I think the Volas are great guitars, and I guess that's about as pitchy as I get. Tom, dude, I was an AE major, jazz guitar minor, and almost never played standards. And almost never play standards anymore. Oh, that's funny. I know. Thank you for the super chat, man. But why? I'm just curious. Just kind of over it from all that you probably had to go through at school. Oh, Ernesto, thank you very much, man. Green onions, nice. You don't understand the S2 line, to be honest. I think that was PRS. Like, I initially went into the store to try an S2. That's actually what I was kind of like set on, that being the one, and I was just really impressed with the CE. Even over the I forget what the higher end one was that I tried. It was an expensive guitar. I mean, it was like $5,000 or how much it was, and it was great, and I liked it. But I think the bolt-on maple, the satin maple neck, just was like it spoke to me. It was like, oh, it's like, okay, you haven't ventured too far off your like normal beaten path, but I'm still different, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. You got a thing. So. You out here, Quentin, man? Have a good night. Shout out to Quentin. Shout out! Have you ever tried a parts caster? No, I haven't. Not really. Anyways. Leave your content, man. Recent subscriber here. Sending love from Australia. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate that, Tyler. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Caffeine Thug, what's up, man? Can you play some SRV? I can't really play copyright stuff. I did a little bit of SRV earlier, but I am pretty much avoiding copyright stuff. I have some videos where I'm just going to have to play some copyright stuff, and we'll see how it goes. But, yeah, for now, I'm kind of like laying low on that. Dude is everywhere. I don't think Quentin actually sleeps. Have you ever ate food while playing guitar on stage? No. The only time I guess like I like drink like other than water. One time as a joke, because the band members made fun of me because we were doing a Halloween show, and part of one of our songs they would stop and they would like shotgun a beer during the set. And so they brought me like a high C. So I like shotgunned like a kid, like a high C. I was like, shoot, I'll do it. I don't care. You know, it's no shame, man. Man, be whatever you want to do. Drink whatever you want to drink, whether it's high C. YouTube copyright bandit. Yes. How much is my course? Well, it depends. I just did a sale on the course. I'm working on updating those. I did the first one not too long ago. I updated like the course. I'm working on reshooting pretty much all of them. You know, and like I said, and to any of the students who have already purchased the course, they'll get that for free. Now, when I come out with new courses, like I have a brand new one for beginners that I'm working on, that will not be free to people who are part of the other 8 courses. This is a separate, you know, entity. But I'm working on reshooting those because I shot some of the older courses, you know, years ago, and I'm like, you know, I feel like I can teach the stuff better, and I'm adding to it a little bit. So I'm just working on, you know, kind of doing that sort of stuff. Like I said, there's been some stuff you guys probably heard me talk about in other live streams going on. Nothing like, you know, bad. And actually, we've gotten some like really good news about some stuff recently that I wanted. Like I said, I'm going to make a video about it, and just to kind of like document how stressful the past like few months have been, and just to kind of like talk about a bunch of stuff. So, you know, I'm gonna make a video about that, and it won't be so much guitar related. I guess it would be because it definitely like, you know, affected me as a guitar player. Because some days it would just be like so stressed out and just tired of thinking about stuff. I'm like, God, I don't even feel like playing guitar, and you know, I think it could maybe be a good video. So we'll see. Are you aware of any artists that are just 100% out of bounds of doing covers on? I don't. I mean, Led Zeppelin's always a really tough one, and all that kind of stuff. You know, I've never really done covers. Anyways, it's just doing a cover is kind of tough because if you do a cover, like I said, it's YouTube's really funny, like especially now. I mean, they've always been funny about it. Used to, if you basically re-recorded everything, they wouldn't flag it. But nowadays, they've gotten really strict about it. So, like I said, I've had a bunch of claims against my stuff, and you know, thankfully, I had already started. I said this earlier, but started basically moving to all original stuff. But there's still some videos that I want to make, and unfortunately, they probably will get a copyright claim against them. But I'm like, you know what? These are just sometimes you just gotta do the videos that you want to make, and not worry about the oh, is the video gonna make any money? Is it gonna do this? I'm just like, you know, I don't want that to ever stop me from like trying to create something. So it'll probably happen. And, you know, the videos will take a lot of work, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not going to let that affect me wanting to, you know, try to be creative. You do cover doodle jams, which is okay, I think. Might play them in another key. So, instead of like, I'll just be like, up here like, Or like really modulated. What are my thoughts on Chapman guitars? You know, I get asked about them a lot. I haven't played them in quite a few years, so I don't know if I can give the most educated response about them. But I will say this. At the time, I actually owned a few. Years ago, probably 4 years ago or something like that, I thought that they were like a good value for how much you had to pay for them. Unfortunately, their price has went up quite a bit, and I think that there are better guitars in that price range. And I like Chappers, and Rob Chapman's actually the reason why I even started a YouTube channel. So I'm not trying to say don't get a Chapman or anything like that, but I just feel like after the prices went up and stuff, it kind of puts it too close to other guitars that I would rather have that have a more reputable name and stuff like that. So it just depends what you want. Like, are you wanting to go with kind of like the smaller guy or the bigger guy? For use enjoying the eventual class action suit. It's coming at some point. Yeah, I definitely will, man. Yeah, I have them. Like I said, I pulled 5 of them, and one of them they like dropped because I was like, it was educational, and they did drop it. But I have all the emails from YouTube saying that there were claims done. Vox, love my MO1 Pro Chapman. Yeah, like I said, I know a lot of people who have them and love them. I think they might have, and this is just sometimes it's just how you have to do it. Um, in my mind, and like I said, it sometimes isn't just an option. And I think they've done they're in a Guitar Center now. They've done a fantastic job. But for me, when it comes to products like a guitar, I think that it's always smarter to come out with a guitar that's more expensive first. Like start high end. If you are like a person who has like investments, and I have no no knowledge of this stuff at all, just as how it works in my mind. I always think it makes more sense to come out with a product that is expensive first, and then after it's been out into the market for a while and it's earned a reputation, that's whenever you come out with a more inexpensive product. And then that's the one where a company would make most of their money from, because more people will have the desire for the brand and be like, oh, I want one. Now I'll get the more affordable version of it because I can finally get that one versus the one that's like $10,000 or something like that. And I feel like they kind of did it backwards. They started out very affordable and have tried to increase and have more expensive to where eventually they had this very like custom shop brand. And I'm like, well, I guess it depends on how dedicated of a buyer you have. But in my mind, it makes more sense to start high end. You can always work your way down. Working your way up is a little bit more difficult, in my opinion. Any advice on trying to get less shy on stage? Honestly, man, uh, it's a matter of you just have to kind of, the more you do it, basically, the more you can get yourself on stage. So I know what I did is any chance I had to play live or to be in front of a crowd, I took it. When I was in high school, it's when I started playing. I would basically get extra credit. Like, probably wasn't fair for everyone else, but we would have to do like book reports. I'd be like, well, can I write a song that kind of like outlines my book report? Or it would just like any chance. I remember I learned, like, we were in Spanish class. I'm like, can I learn like the Spanish like anthem or whatever on guitar and play it? So I was always playing guitar at school, oddly enough. Like, and the teachers were always really cool about it. So, it was just a matter of like always playing in front of people whenever you could. Say something in Spanish. the ratio. Yeah, you know what? If you can like, even if it has to be kind of like self-deprecating or something like that, you know, lighten the mood. You know, when you're on stage, and really getting to talk to people, understanding how to talk and to interact with a crowd of people really takes practice, and it's kind of an art in itself. And you know, it comes from, I feel like, being in bands, playing live a whole bunch. But I also taught at a school, like an actual school for a while, and taught classes, you know, of 20 people and stuff like that. So that's, I know for me that stuff doesn't really bother me. It's more like you gotta put yourself in those uncomfortable situations. Someone asked me to say something in Spanish. De los Estados Unidos que represente juro fidelidad. What else? Gato. There you go. I say that right? Let's see. Juro fidelidad de los Estados Unidos que represente. And then I just threw cat in there at the end because I ran out of words. Gato. The accent, oh, it's like my straight up countrified accent. Random Spanish, just like random words. That's like my like Chinese. I know like 6 words, like xie xie, bokuchen, wa animan, and then bing shui, and stuff like that. But it's like I have just such an American accent. They're like, they still don't know what I'm saying. When I was in Germany, I would pronounce the town and I didn't understand. Like I would be like, oh, I need to get, like, on the train station. I'd be like, I need to get to Bamberg, and they're like, where? And I'd be like, I don't know, Bamberg, Bomberg. They're like, oh, Bomberg, and they would say it, and I'd be like, isn't that what I just said? Like, it wasn't like that far off. It wasn't like I was like, oh, how do I get to the zoo? And, you know, or something like that. But I meant highway. Like, it was like so funny. They were just like so thrown off. I'm like, is my accent like that thick? I'm like, Bamberg, Bomberg. So no one ever knew what I was saying. Spanish? Can you play Spanish? You know what? I used to know. How's that go? I learned a little bit of, I don't remember anymore, like flamenco-y things. At first, there was like a period where I really got into like finger picking and finger style. It's kind of hard because, yeah, I don't want to say you need long fingernails. I don't, but Brad's a good finger picker. Do you have nails on your right hand, Brad? I don't know if I've ever noticed. It's hard because you can obviously finger pick without fingernails, but it really is, there's such a tone difference to when you have nails. Like, nails just sound, to me, better just because I like the sound of a pick. And nails have a different sound than a pick, but a more brighter kind of like bloom to the note. So I kind of like did it for a little bit, but I was like, I don't know if I had the... Yeah, flamingo. I think I learned flamingo too. Yeah, so like, you know, like I said, Brad's like a real finger picker. I'm not. So, but I learned like different stuff, finger picking. The coke nails. Just do all your videos with a long pinky nail from now on. Just one. Can you string skip? Sure. You know, that was actually, Paul Gilbert was one of the big guys who I really got into. I liked that style of arpeggiating better than I do like the normal kind of like our like sweepy style. And I think that's what led to eventually what I you know, kind of crossed both worlds together, which I'm sure someone does it a million times better than what I do. But basically, if you were to do like an E minor arpeggio, you know, you have different options. You could do it like this, like that'd be an E minor. And my fingers are not working. Let me switch guitars. This Les Paul's not doing it for me. As I clang everything around, jeez. Do I deserve to have these guitars? Anyways, so like I said, if you do like an E minor, okay, you can do it like that, or like the Paul Gilbert way would be like that. So that's very Paul Gilbert-y to me. And what I liked about that is I liked the rhythm control. You know, so eventually, like as years went on, what I kind of like developed for myself, just like a style of arpeggiating that I really liked because I liked the rhythm control of that, is I started doing what I call like a 2-1-2, where if I'm doing like E minor, it technically turns it into a minor 7, but I'll do like, instead of doing this E minor, I go like this. So yeah, I'm always going 2 notes. I don't know if Braxel's still here. He takes lessons from me. And we had went over this stuff. And Sam's here too. He would have seen this too. But so it's like 2 notes. So that's technically starting on my minor 7, going to my root. 2 notes, 1, 2 notes, 1, 2 notes, and then 1 will be the next one. Okay, and then you slide up and you do like another inversion of it. And you just kind of keep them. So I just kind of like came up with that because I liked the flow of it, the rhythm of that idea. And you can do it, you know, with lots of different stuff. Got it down now, yeah. So like I said, like if you take Skype lessons from me, I don't know if I've ever done YouTube lessons on this stuff, but that's one of the things like in Skype lessons I've went through with different people, you know, just kind of getting into. Like, I don't know if Sam's still here. Yeah, Sam's right there. And most people that I, you know, had showed it to over the years really liked it, and it kind of has that string skippy sound to it. And basically, you could string skip it. You just cut out, you know, 1 note. I just like the sound of it. So you can actually kind of turn it around a little bit better. And I like the way that that sounded more than the traditional way of just kind of going like... What time do you fly out if you're in Ohio? Oh no, the clinic's in Ohio. It's just a couple hours. I'm just driving. Just a couple hours from me. Unless there's something else I'm supposed to be at that I don't know. Always a possibility. But yeah, here, let me give you guys some better audio. Sorry, you've been stuck with like garbage audio this whole time. But how hard or easy is it for me to tremolo pick? I don't think I've ever really I've never practiced it. I just kind of, you know, you just kind of do it. So I'd say not too hard. It doesn't take. It does. If I want to tremolo pick really fast, I do alter, which is probably not the best idea. But I alter the way I pick. Like normally I pick like this with my wrist, and when I tremolo pick, I pick with my arm. Do the Van Halen. Wow. Supposed to be in Dallas next week. No, I'm not going to Dallas. I was originally going a while ago. It is actually the exact same time that that show is happening. I didn't realize it. Is the same time my wife is going on a trip for like a jiu-jitsu kind of thing. So I am chilling at home. I'd say that I've done my fair share of cruising around while she had to just stay at home. So I don't mind not going, so she can go somewhere that she wants to go. What is your favorite tapping like? Mine is the Nuno one. You know the one, of course. Yeah, the Nuno stuff is always. It's such a cool way of outlining a chord. I'm not warmed up to play it, but I think my nails hit the guitar. Yeah. However he does it. Did you look at PRS Dusty wearing when you were checking out Paul Reed Smith? I don't know necessarily. I played a bunch of them. I didn't know, like, they all had like different names and stuff, and I'm not too hip to the groove when it comes to all that. I just knew that I liked the CE. I just liked the neck on it. Funking it up, man. Why do I think you lived out west? A lot of people think I live in Cali. Eastern, man. Well, I'm from South Carolina. Down near Camden. If anybody else here is from South Carolina. And Kershaw. So you like this? You know what, man? I'm telling you, it like I said, the PRSs have like a certain like smoothness and richness to them, and I feel like the bolt-on gives it a little bit of that snap back to it. And the coil tap sounds good too, but it still sounds like a PRS. You know, like it still has like it's smoother than a Strat. You know, but still snappier than a Les Paul. So sorry, let me flip over to this real quick so you guys can hear some better audio. I think it sounds good, like I said, but it's a very smooth sound, so. So there you go. You can kind of hear I'm playing very, very sloppy. Even sloppier than normal. But, like I said, I do think it has like a very rich sound to it. Play some classical. Copyright expired. Hey, I think that's like the first time I've ever been able to hit the right note. I think it's an E, right? How did this go? I can't remember. Yeah, my hands are not warmed up to play that stuff right now. Oh man, Beethoven. I'm copping out on you guys. Sorry, I don't know any of the. Well, I don't know many classical composers. I'm afraid. I don't know the Paganinis and all that stuff. Hail the Mountain King. Just got your course bundle and love it. Can you play anything from Polyphia? Oh, dude, first of all, thank you very much, man. I really hope you dig it. Like I said, I'm working on the next update now. But I don't know any Polyphia, I'm afraid. I do have some of their music, though. But yeah, I don't know any of it. Sultans of Swing. How's it go? How's that go? I can't remember it. Down. Playing a PRS, just like Knopfler, right? It's similar. It's very close to that, right? Is that last one right? I'm almost positive. I know you're dealing with the guy who's got got a right hand so many levels above mine to do that stuff. Like, what's the what song is it? Well, it's a very bad rendition of Money for Nothing. That's what song it is. Money for nothing and your checks for free. Good old Mark Knopfler. Copyright-free video series. Hey! Yep. Awesome. But I'm gonna have to head to bed, guys. I gotta get up kind of early tomorrow. The show starts at 10, so we gotta be leaving here at 8. You know, the PRS is the love child of a Les Paul and Strat. I would, I would say that 100%. But I'm gonna head to bed. thank you to everyone who super chatted, all that stuff. You know, I really do appreciate that. Um, Sam, Dave Our Guitar, Caffeine Thug, Big Red Tower, as always, doing such a good moderating job, all that stuff. Dude, Brad, thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. Braxel, all you guys. And other than that, yo, we out of here. Peace on the streets, guys. See you all later. If you're going to the clinic tomorrow, if you haven't been in Akron, Ohio, yo, stop by, say hi. I know I'm doing a clinic at 2:30. Greg Cock is at noon. If you have not seen Greg or Freddie DeMarco, amazing guitar players. But definitely, if you're there, check it out, man. It's gonna be great. We'll hang out, get some food. It'll be a good time, dude. It's a guitar fest. Bunch of guitar nerds nerding out. So, other than that, guys, I'll see you all later. Peace out. And yo, if I can figure out how to stop this thing, we out of here.